Hey, Modern Jeepers, Matson from Metalcloak here, and welcome to episode 172 of the ModernJeeper Show, the show about Jeeps and Jeeping and Jeepers. So we are out here at Metalcloak World headquarters while Corey and Jessy are on their way to Tillamook via a few stops, including our friends over at Rugged Radios, who have that awesome new compound. I'm a little jealous. In typical Modern Jeeper fashion, we bounce all over the place, talking about GMRS, Tillamook, rats and RVs, blue pill versus red pill, and a heck of a lot more. So if you happen to be watching this on YouTube right now, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for us. And you can also catch us on podcasts on all your favorite players. By the way, if you like this episode, please share it with your friends and give us a good review. We appreciate that. As always, we are extremely grateful to our supporters and friends, including Winches, Raceline Wheels, Bestop, Milestar Tires, Rugged Radios, and Adventure Rack Systems, and of course, Metalcloak. So sit back, relax to the cold one, and enjoy episode number 172 on the ModernJeeper Show.
The ModernJeeper Show, the show about Jeeps, Jeeping, and Jeepers.
Well, hey, Modern Jeepers, another episode of the ModernJeeper Show with me, Matson from Metalcloak, and Mr. Modern Jeeper, Corey Osborne.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, Rockstar Jeep Girl, Jessy.
Well, hello, Matson. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm okay. There's this place called Wacky Tacky in it's in Roseville, and it's a kid's place. And it's like one of those places that has all the inside rooms. It's like you take McDonald's original, play center that they used to have, and you throw a much larger version of it into this warehouse and say, "Here, kids, go and play." So we took some the boys to a birthday party last night for that. It was at Wacky Tacky, and it really is designed for the kids. It is absolutely not designed to be anything for adults, right? And it was a birthday party, so they had this whole thing. First off, the kids start in one area, and then they get on a bullhorn and they go, "All right, all children, this, and they move to this next area, and all the kids move to the next area, and they're playing in that thing. And then it's get on the, and then you get on the boulevard again and yell out for them to all then go to the party room, which has the pizza and stuff. And every kid's getting like one piece of pizza. And it was Pizza Guys, which is a local one in this region that is, it's above Costco, but not too far above.
Gotcha.
And then they had cakes, and they get the cakes, and it's like the nastiest frosting ever, right? And he goes to the kid, and Jack discovered it was the nastiest frosting by like digesting it instead of ingesting it, right? It was bad. And it had so much blue in it. It had so much blue. Literally, I had to super wash my hands, because even after washing my hands, I still had blue stain on the skin.
Oh,
it
wow.
was so bad. It was so bad. It's like, what the crap are you giving these kids?
No kidding.
And then they had vending machines for other stuff. So like a bottle of water was $2, right? I mean, it was just all this craziness. But we did that last night. Well, the kiddos, and I've got a hoarse throat for some reason. I'm not sure how or why or what had happened, but I got this hoarse throat.
All the German kids.
Kids, all the German kids and our kids, and so it was just kind of craziness. So that's how I'm doing. It's been a fun 24
Sounds
hours.
Fun.
I mean, I would love to have a place like that when I was a kid. They don't have an adult. They need an adult version of that.
Yeah,
or like Showbiz Pizza.
Showbiz. Remember Chuck E. Cheese?
I remember Chuck E. Cheese. Yeah, there's even a place out here. Well, the adult version of Chuck E. Cheese is Dave and Buster's, right?
Oh yeah, there you go.
But that doesn't have the playroom. Doesn't have the big giant slides with the balls and all the stuff that you can throw around and share germs.
We still enjoy doing that, so I don't know why they don't.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I want
Our big playroom is out in the garage.
That's a true adult. You can't throw things around in there though, and get away with it, because you might break something.
Well, this is true. Yeah,
this is true. You need a giant white padded room.
I definitely need a padded room. For sure.
Have you been to one of those centers where they have the trampolines?
Like an indoor.
Yeah,
jump
it's all
room?
all the trampolines all lined up against each other and all against the wall and all that.
And floor height. I've seen them.
I've never run and jump and jump. We did that with that place was cool because the kiddos could have the birthday party there, but then the adults could go play too. And so you go jump on them and jump against the walls. And then you see these guys that are just like, freaky. They're jumping and they're doing backflips and jumping and backflips and then going and bouncing off the side walls. And yeah.
Cirque du Soleil.
So yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Cirque du Soleil stuff. See, I always thought it would be fun to have a Velcro suit where you could jump and then stick yourself to the walls and stuff.
That would be awesome.
And so like what made me think of it is like the heating system in our house, it's electric in-ceiling heat. We've talked about this before. But if I had a Velcro suit where I could stick myself to the ceiling, it'd be so much warmer.
Well, you say Velcro suits, and I think of Wolf of Wall Street. They're midgets with a little Velcro, and they were throwing midgets against the target.
Yeah,
that's bad. Don't do that.
That's bad. We don't throw midgets.
Don't throw little people.
Don't throw little people. What about big people? I throw my little people all the time. Little, throw them around.
Well, everybody's littler. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's little. Yeah, funny. Anyway, so how have you guys been?
Good. Been in mad prepared stage mode. Trying to get ready. We didn't have water for a while, so that all is fixed now. The equipment, shout out to Mike Boyle who brought us his tractor, filled the hole back up. We got that done. And then it became, we still needed to clean the tow rig out, still finishing touches on the Gladiator, getting it ready for our Tillamook adventure. Rock chips and windshields, got that done yesterday. It just seems like it's just one thing after another and we're fixing it. Nothing is, it's at that stage where everything needs to be maintained. So we spend so much time just fixing all these little things, and it's the littlest things, but they take time to get done. Yeah. We've been busy.
That's why shit never gets done at my house because I just don't have the time for it. My wife has been begging me for weeks and weeks to go around and paint the corners of our walls because they've been chipped by the kiddos running around and hitting them and stuff. And so just little corners of the walls. I finally got the paint. And got that, and you even did a little spackling on it, right, to just clean it up a little bit,
they
right?
Make little plastic corners.
You need the plastic corner.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Then you want to do that.
Yeah. I want the big rubber. I need the big rubber corners. They can just bounce off of them.
Bounce off big
styrofoam helmets. And
yeah. Well, and the funny thing is the house when we moved in had a bunch of those corners. It was like, the house was built in the 80s and it had the exterior corner. You could see the corner. It was like it was painted over. I'm like, well, that's dumb. Let's pull all those off. Yeah, apparently they were there for a reason.
Well, they used to do that over paneling and whatnot, right? Where you had to join the edges somehow, but
yeah,
there's a lot
little projects.
A lot of little projects. A lot of we've got a couple of stops that we're going to make on the way out to see you.
You're leaving, so we're actually recording this on Tuesday, as we usually do, and you're leaving like as soon as we're done with this recording, right?
Yep.
Yeah. We'll hit the road. I don't know how far we'll get tonight. We'll drive, 5-6 hours or something, and till we'll get probably close to St. George. We have a quick meeting tomorrow with our friends at American Adventure Labs. Say hi to Britt real quick, and then we're heading out to Rugged Radios to see their new facility, get a tour of the shop. All that stuff.
Oh man, you get to see that before I do. I wanted to go down and do a whole because they were supposed to have the kind of quote unquote RV park out there.
Right.
Yeah, that's cool. Is the cafe actually open?
I don't know that. I'm not sure actually at all. In fact, I had to look at a map and go, where exactly is this place? But I'm excited to see it. They've taken care of all of our communication stuff and been friends of ours for many, many years. And now with this new facility, I'm stoked. And, they typically do things the right way. I'm sure that the working environment is pretty awesome. So.
Yeah, it's pretty. Well, I've heard Greg is a hard man to work for, but that's impressive. I mean, he definitely. I mean, the guy still does. I mean, he's for those of you that pay attention, go back to our podcast and look him up. he's pretty much blind. One eye is completely blind. The other one's partially blind. He still drives. He still does all this stuff. He still fights MMA. I mean,
Yep.
the guy's kind of a badass.
Oh, absolutely. And he goes nonstop. They go to so many shows, and they are such a good resource for the entire racing environment, the off-road industry. There's a lot of other manufacturers out there that sell similar products. In fact, you can get them at Walmart and things like that. But you know what? I don't see Walmart at any of our off-road events, and these guys offer us a lot of support. In fact, I'm taking radios out there to get updated firmware installed in them. So again, rugged radios. In fact, we actually have a discount code for them. Rugged
cool.
MJ. Rugged MJ. If you're heading to one of our adventures, and there's still a lot of debate. In fact, I just got done reading an entire thing from Red Rock Four Wheelers out of Moab. Those guys still all, they swear by the CB because they state that there's just not enough channels on the GMRS side of radios, and that's actually just not true because of all of you could actually open up some of those channels, if you will, a little bit more. But there's still talks about people using CBs versus GMRS, and of course there's the ham guys, and we've moved to the GMRS side, and I couldn't be happier. I mean, the thing about CBs is people don't typically have them tuned properly, so then the range is limited. It's hard to hear people talk.
Much bigger antenna.
The giant whip antennas and
tennis balls.
Well, I mean, the average age of the Red Rock Four Wheelers is beyond retirement, and they got a younger group coming in, but they are, and that's a CB. I mean, you were CB guys, right? And the fact that there's all these other options and ways to go, I think that the GMRS has been great so far. It's been much easier to use, I believe.
I believe so.
Yeah, and it was the race radios were the thing, but that's just it turns out that we shouldn't have been doing that for a long time. So, the whole debate, because I think we did our own show on it and talked about it, and we've done articles on it. We've talked about it in the race radios and justified race radios, and the reality is GMRS is better, and it's more legal. So that's a good thing.
It is more legal, and that's really what it comes down to. I mean, the FCC, a lot of guys, they talk about it. Well, is somebody going to show up in the middle of the forest and slap your wrist and take your radio away? Probably not, but we'd rather do things the right way rather than trying to, Rugged does have a number of channels that you can use all across the country that are those other frequencies. And they're completely able to use those frequencies. We are.
Right.
But there's also cross traffic and cross talk and things like that. So anyway, so we're going to go stop and see Rugged. And huge shout out to those guys.
Good. Well, that should be fun. Don't have too much fun out there. You got Rugged, you got Pismo out there. You've got, it's a beautiful area. You can always stop by and see if Dave is around and slow, go say hi to Schlossberg.
Right.
See what color black socks he's wearing today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and then we'll be out with you on Friday, probably fairly early, help get everything loaded up and packed so we can head north
into the RV. The RV, which so when I came back from my trip, so you kind of got to go back. We originally RV was in storage, and then 2020 hit. I pulled that out of storage just so I didn't actually spend the extra money. Parked it here at Metalcloak. Then took it to Tillamook, and we had the the now famous Achilles injury.
Yep.
Brought it back, had it at the house for a few days. I just can't park it at the house. I don't have RV parking at the house, right? So Rob, one of our guys here, he does have RV parking. He had a space by the side. I'm like, awesome. So I made a deal with him and parked it there. And he was maintaining it and monitoring it and checking things out. Well, apparently that didn't happen for like the last few months for whatever, being busy. And so Friday, like, say, hey, I'm going to pick it up on Saturday. Go and make sure it starts, all that stuff. Cool, no problem. Gets in there. It doesn't start. So he puts batteries on it, or he puts a charger on it, not a problem. Then he says, "You're right." Like, what do you mean? He goes, "Yeah, there were critters in there." So, okay, let's go see what that's like. So Saturday we drive out there. There is rat poop everywhere. Now, we looked at it. I mean, the first thing I did, obviously, staying out of it and just trying not to get in there, breathe any of that crap in, right? But it's everywhere, along with little foam balls. You can see areas where they chewed on the corners of some of the foam, and there is tons of little foam balls, little squares everywhere. And I don't know what pillow they got into and decided to tear it up, right? Haven't found that yet, but it's just a mess. It's an absolute mess. So I had Rob put some traps in there. He got little mouse traps and big rat traps, and the time was the sticky ones and the big floppy ones that just break their necks. He got all those. He put them in there Saturday. Monday, we went over there to pick it up because it figured it would be fully charged. Not a single trap had been triggered. So they're gone. Like we pretty much figured they came in for the winter, like February, March. It was really rainy.
And then it got hot.
Then it got hot. They partied for a couple of months, and now they're out like eating the garden or something. They're off doing something else. But so we nothing in there yet. At least we haven't captured anything yet. They stayed out of the upper cabinets where all the food is, but there's like chewed up, like the bottle of hand soap, totally chewed open.
Wow.
Like weird stuff like that's chewed up in there. One of the Metalcloak hats, right, just left it in there, and it's the chewed up on the top of that.
Well, they were trying to stay clean. They wanted to, wash up.
They were partying, and they had to get a little bubbles going, probably bubbles going, bath lights going. So so it's a big mess. Anyway, we're cleaning it. The lady who cleans the building, keeps the building, is awesome, and so she's going to go in there and tackle that, which means cleaning out, first off, all the poop and everything, bring all the sheets, all that kind of stuff, wash the carpets, right? Like I have to actually clean the carpets because I don't want any residual there with the dogs and the kids and everything else. It's all that's got to get cleaned. So it's a mess. And I have a new storage space, which happens to be one of our customers has a place up in Auburn. And so I was supposed to move it 2 months ago. But I don't think that would have changed this situation. I think this happened like February, March is when they showed up, because he checked it in January. It was fine. And then apparently he forgot to check it since then, but that's okay. It's good. It's all good. It's just, it is what it is. We're probably going to do this trip and then put it on the market because we want something different anyway. I'd actually like to get a smaller Class C. Like this is a Super C and it's really nice and big. But
it's nice. It's big.
It is. But I'd like to get maybe like one of those Mercedes diesel smaller C's, C's. And, but the biggest thing is making sure there's room for the kids to sleep. I'm like
van life. I can see van life kind of.
Oh yeah, no Sprinter vans. I still have to have room for the kids to be able to bunk, and it's got to be able to pull the Jeep. So if I do like the small the Mercedes Super C's, I can still pull the Jeep, and then I can have and then we just have from there. Plus the wife could actually drive it. I mean, she does not want to drive the big one. That'd be nice to do it. So that's our little tale right now of getting our stuff ready for Tillamook. Looking forward to it. I can't
imagine, and it's always bugged me. Even living here, we'll have chipmunks or something that get underneath an engine compartment, and a lot of wiring used to be made. The sheaths of the wires used to be made out of soy, and so it would actually attract rodents.
Oh, that's why, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, we learned that from our folks at Painless.
Wow.
That a lot of the Chinese wiring is soy-based jacketed. So kind of I mean, it's providing food for rodents. And then you end up with things chewed up underneath your hood. And now they say that you can use like dryer sheets and peppermint and things like that to keep them away. But no, I poison everything.
Yeah, just poison everything. Well, that's the thing. It's like, okay, well, lesson learned. Should have thrown a bunch of traps in there just to have traps in there, just to make sure if there was anybody came checking things out, they're like, yeah, hey, Bob just went to check it out. He didn't come back. We probably should leave that one alone.
Right. You want to go find Bob?
No. Let's go find Bob. Oh, Frank's gone too now.
Oh, Frank's gone.
Yeah. Send Melissa out. Yeah.
I use the sticky. I like the sticky ones because then I name them all Chuck, so they're stuck like Chuck. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
my wife didn't like that too much. She's like, well, the sticky ones can't they like pull their arms off and stuff?
Yep.
well, they end up pulling all their hair off, and that's kind of weird. But
Yeah,
most of the time,
yeah.
they're still stuck.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
weird.
it is.
Yeah,
And it turns out you can't get a broom near a sticky thing because then you end up having to throw the broom away because that stuff will get into all of the bristles.
I didn't
and
do
you're
it.
done. I did. Yeah, I did.
Wow. So you just throw, that sticky stuff. Like, no thanks.
I hate that
Like
sticky
they even put you put a blob of peanut butter right in the center of it. Then it was like, I'm glad
Like
Rob was doing that. We used to do the little traps, the little mouse traps that were the live ones, right?
Yeah.
You take them and toss them in the trash, or or the wife would be like, no, you got to go out and release it in a field. Okay.
Nope.
I swear, when I had my office on Del Paso Boulevard, I released one in a field. He came back.
He was looking for you.
He was, he wanted to come back. It's like, I got him, I trapped him, I drove a mile away and threw him in a trash can. Like, that's fine. No, he knew there was good stuff there. He came back.
You guys are buddies.
He's not dumb.
I mean, you guys are buddies now at that point.
Right. We've had our intimate moments.
Mm.
So cool. So this is gonna be fun. Plus, we have Cantina for the Con on Saturday. So
right.
Are you guys heading up to that?
Yeah, we thought we'd maybe go out there for a little bit, and
And
I knew there was something else on my calendar that I had forgotten about.
Yeah.
So much.
So much. Yeah, but Cantina for the Con. So that's Rob's Resort. We've been talking a lot about that around here. Excuse me.
That'll be fun.
It should be fun. I'll be heading up for a little bit during that day, and then but Will and Mike and Scott with Cloakworks, Mike with ARS, and Will all have booths set up there early.
Cool.
And so it should be a fun day. I'll be interested to see how it all turns out because it's a combination. You got live music going all day because they have a full on stage there, and then the bar and all that stuff. But I did this morning because I've been doing my morning things. This morning, again, this is Tuesday. I'm fasting this week. And I'm just planning a 5-day fast because I like to, Friday night's pizza night at my house. So damn it, I'm not going to skip on that for my boys. I'm going to have some pizza.
Right.
And 2, Cantina, right? Got to have some tacos. I did throw out there, and I have not checked the stats though. This morning, I said to the Instagram crowd, if that thing gets 1,000 likes, then I would go ahead and extend my fast through Saturday. If it got 3,000 likes, I'd extend it through Sunday. So, which you'll probably see what I buried myself into, and see how Metalcloak is.
But you're not going to be hangry when we come, are you?
No, I don't get hangry.
No being hangry. Nobody likes.
I'll walk around with my Snickers.
Yeah.
Well, and I do want to bring up we just put new springs on the Gladiator, and we are loaded heavy for this trip since we're going to be gone for probably about 3 weeks. And this is the Dometic Big Fridge, the 75 DZ with its slide. The slide itself is 50 pounds.
Wow.
With our Adventure rack system, our ARS tall rack with rooftop tent, the 270 awning, we are packed. I mean, we're carrying everything. We're carrying more stuff on this trip than we would if we were to go to Death Valley, just because it's a different kind of trip. Yeah, so we're taking a lot of stuff on this trip that we normally wouldn't take. For example, we do overlanding trips to Death Valley. We're carrying more stuff on this trip than we would even for the Death Valley trips. That said, my point is that the new springs, what Metalcloak is shipping right now for the Gladiator, that Jeep sits level. And I know there's been a lot of complaints. You get on the Jeep Gladiator forums, and all these overlanding guys are running airbags and taller springs and spacers to level them out. I will weigh the Jeep once we get up to Tillamook because there's that cool little scale there on the side of the road. And we'll see what we actually do weigh. But I'm guessing we're probably at its limit. We're probably 7,200 pounds, and the Jeep sits level.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Even
cool.
with all my stuff.
Even with all of her stuff. I mean, we're packed. I've got every piece of electronic equipment I think I own with us. I mean, every camera, everything. I mean, we're taking it all. So
Any tools?
oh yeah,
Always.
Yeah.
all of my recovery gear, spare
Always.
parts, tools.
We're always prepared.
Yeah, it's one of those kinds of trips. So
Wow.
we may have to work on things.
That's gonna be you're gonna get all that weight and the great aerodynamics of the Gladiator. You're gonna be burning through some fuel.
It's all downhill from
cross
here.
country.
Oh yeah.
It's all downhill. Yeah.
Wait, how do you go up to down? Yeah, wait, this work. All right.
Up to
Yeah,
California.
just up that way and down that way and go over that way.
Right.
So you guys will come through here Saturday and then start heading up north.
Yeah.
So what day are you going to get to the property?
Probably on
Wednesday.
Tuesday or Wednesday, I'm guessing. We like to get up there, get everything kind of situated, and then what we typically do is we take some images and some pictures for future use of stuff. So make sure that the caterers and everything is set up, the bathrooms get out there and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm excited. It'll be fun. I actually get out. I get to get out. I actually get to get out and wheel.
It's about time.
It's about freaking time. I didn't mean to say
stuff
freaking. I wanted to say something else, but I'm being nice.
We and I got some sun right in my face here now. We also just, I think it was on Monday, was it yesterday? Maybe Sunday. Jeep Beach had a live feed.
It was weeks ago.
Oh, was it weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It was at least a couple weeks ago.
Oh, we might be frozen again.
You just saw it reason? No, you're not frozen.
Okay, good. Anyway, we just saw the live feed from the numbers of this year's Jeep Beach, and kudos to that group. They gave over $650,000 to charities this year.
Wow.
And that was
just Jeep Beach.
Just the
So
Jeep Beach stuff.
That's we had that conversation. Like we weren't sure because they weren't being they were being a little opaque about it in the past. So the fact that they came out again and actually they're showing that's the highest number I've ever seen.
Oh, and so next year's goal is $1 million.
Yeah.
Spiderweb Shade, the Shade Brigade guys from their party at Hard Rock, they donated an additional $25,000.
So they were charging for their party at Hard Rock, or how did that work?
Charge.
Yeah. How much do they charge?
That's what draws
I think it's
everybody in is giving.
I think it's
giving
$100
things away. Yeah.
$100 ticket.
Yeah.
$100 ticket.
They get fed and have a concert and all the things. So
$100 for a ticket, you get fed, you have a concert and big things, and they win some prizes and stuff.
All the giveaway and yep. So actually, Jessy just put the article up on ModernJeeper.com. I think I published that this morning. So, and again, they do a phenomenal job. The amount of volunteers and the people that went out and make that event happen. Again, for us, we've talked about this. It feels a little different for us, and I don't know if we can change that. We plan to have some conversations with the folks, the powers to be out there for next year. I'm not sure what we can do differently, but we're gonna talk about it. But it's cool. I mean, that is an event that they give back to a ton of charities. So
over 50.
Yeah. So we like that. We like
awesome.
those kind of things.
Well, that's always a big thing. We got a lot of groups that come out and they ask for donations. And it's like, okay, so what is your real cause? Like, what are you actually doing? Right. And you want us to be at an event. So what are you actually doing? And that's a huge part of it. We talked about on this podcast. If you guys are doing something educational or you're doing something that you're really giving back to a good community, then that's great. There unfortunately are some groups that do a little bit opposite. They go, oh yeah, hey, we're doing it. We're donating. I mean, I'll admit, when I used to do the beer festivals, right, it was like when we did the beer festivals in our early days, it was all the money went into paying for the event. And like, oh, we gave 10% or 15% or whatever to a charity. It still was good money for some charities, but it wasn't what it should have been done. When the last few years I did it, we were given, over 50% of the money was going to was the charities. The rest was going to cover expenses. And that's the way it's supposed to be. More money out than in.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And our we still continue to have land use issues, and again, all of these dollars when we're donating to things like the Blue Ribbon Coalition or Stay the Trail, and I mean, all of these bodies of people are fighting so that we can go and do the things that we enjoy doing in our Jeeps. So it's kind of cool if you think about it. We're not having to do that work. They're doing it for us. But that also costs money and it takes support. And I hope that a lot of these events understand that. We just there's a story on ModernJeeper.com again as what the BRC, the Blue Ribbon Coalition, is fighting this most recent fight for. And I don't think the new Jeeper understands that we could lose a lot of trails. There was some really moving pictures on BRC's website about land that the BLM is going to remove from its trail maps. In other words, we're not going to have access to some of these roads. And in the images, you can actually see a road that it maybe hasn't been used for a year, but there's definitely a two-track road out into this field. And the BLM has said, this road doesn't get used anymore. We're taking it away. So,
wow.
Yeah. And again, these guys are trying to fight those fights for us, since we all have, regular lives and jobs and things like that. It's super important that folks, whether they donate time, money, if you can get on their website, share it. If we're talking to folks, if you're in a club, just go to blueribboncoalition.com. Go to Stay the Trail. Get involved and just share with your club what these other groups are doing so that we can continue to have places to go. I mean, we talked about Uray last time on the podcast, and it's a mess. And there's so many people that just don't understand, and they're not educated well enough to do the right thing.
Well, and that's part of it. We're talking about, I was looking at pictures and stuff, and this was several years ago, but some yahoos going through the playa out there at the racetrack in Death Valley, right?
It's fenced now.
Huh? Yeah.
They had to fence that off because people were still driving out there.
Yeah, and it's idiotic. But it's idiotic by definition means that they weren't educated, they didn't know. And you could say, well, there's a bunch of signs up say don't do it, but they don't understand the long-term impact of that. They don't understand, right? And it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna do a few beers, what are you gonna have some fun? Check this out. And they just don't understand. So for us, we have to continue to educate. We have to continue to support. We continue to make an influence. It's a bit by bit thing. You make a little drop, a little bit by bit, we can help people get better and better. But all you guys out there, they're in clubs and groups, or you're part of it. We are the influencers. We are the ones that influence how things happen. We are the ones that influence people when they're out wheeling. Stop and say hi to people. Introduce yourself to people. You see somebody who's new. It's like that, that couple that did they were on the trail in Colorado with their new Bronco, right? And had the whole big problem. Well, somebody needed to take the time to help them. And
that's right.
And we see it all the time. You see somebody doing something wrong, don't just get in their face about it. Like, help them to understand and be better so that they can pass it on to the next person and the next person, the next person. But yeah.
Yeah, you guys have, and you guys have been like 100 degrees and it's so funny. We've had such nice weather here in Colorado on the western slope. It's been hot over in the Denver area, but I mean, high 70s has been like the normal the last few days. And we actually got to be here to enjoy it, and now we're going to head out to hundreds of degrees.
Well, I understand that on the coast there, like it's been in the 70s in Santa Barbara, right? And they're dying. Yeah. They're dying. It's like 70, maybe it's 80 something, and they're just dying in Santa Barbara. These people.
Yeah.
All the yeah. So it's gonna be nice for you up the coast.
Yeah, it'll be.
It's supposed to be kind of cold and I mean, have you told everybody that's coming out to Tillamook to weather up? They should need to layer up.
Surely they pay attention to that.
Yeah, maybe my next group email will be the weather report. Make sure everybody's prepared. So
you want to do that till the last minute once they're on their way. You want to turn around and go, "Oh, that's gonna be cold."
Yeah, for
Mhm.
sure. No, it should be good. And we're already kind of a step beyond. So we've got Tillamook. We've got another overland event coming up right after that. Of course, we've got the Pacific Northwest Expo, PNW Expo, that Adventure Rack Systems and our friends Demos and everybody's
Right.
going to be
Right.
up there in that area.
Right.
And then we come back and Colorado has All for Fun, which is right here in the Array area. And then it doesn't stop, folks. It just, and a shout out to the people that we're getting some folks reaching out to us, and they're talking about events for next year. And
Just
I
a
know
good
that
idea.
yeah, I know that sounds really weird, and it's hard for me to sometimes go, okay, hold on a second, I can't think that far ahead. But we actually need that kind of stuff so that we can plan. Because I mean, we had somebody reach out this morning and say, hey, can you guys, be on the other side of the earth in a month? And no, that kind of stuff just doesn't happen because we've already got things scheduled. But if you know of an event, again, we like hearing from you. You can send us an email, send Jessy an email, me an email, Matson an email. Let us know, even if it's next year. We love to have those dates solidified earlier rather than later. We're going to start working on the calendar for next year. All of those events we start loading into the calendar, and it never fails. Come October, November, we haven't heard from you. That thing's got to go to print. And then people get mad. Oh, my event didn't show up in there. Well, we didn't know about your dates. And I know some of you guys don't plan that far in advance. But if you want your event to get some publicity, we need those dates so that we can make sure they're added for next year's calendar.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And let us know. That's what the forum is on the page for, right? You can set it
That's
there
right.
now. I know we were working on trying to get the online calendar to be able to be more interactive and actually add events to it. It's something
I was fiddling with it for hours.
Our previous one had that option, but this one doesn't. So that's fine. We'll get it figured out, guys. But send it in to us because this year Corey and Jessy are the ones in charge of the calendar. And then we'll do the design work at my end here, but they're doing all of the gathering, and Jessy has been the one gathering all of the dates best she can for all of you guys, especially the big events. But I don't care how small your event is, it can be a 1 day 200 Jeeps, and you put it in the calendar. We'll put it in the calendar. Not a big deal. Just send it to us. And so spread the word amongst all your friends, and it'll get in the calendar. When we're talking a calendar, guys, for those that don't know, we're talking about the printed calendar, the printed ModernJeeper calendar, the wall hanging calendar that has all kinds of awesome pictures. And again, Corey and Jessy are in charge of photos this year because, apparently mine weren't exciting enough last year. So Corey, I said, fine, do it yourself.
Yeah, this next year's calendar is just going to be all nude Jeeps.
Nude Jeeps? I like it. That means stock, right?
Yes.
Hey, I have one.
You do.
I didn't get a chance to go take it out. It's been raining. And then they decided to redo the road, mag chloride everywhere. So it's been sitting.
No. Yeah.
So I haven't taken her out.
Yuck.
Welcome to Colorado summertime. Everything's under construction. So
yuck. Yeah. So speaking of it, we were talking about Death Valley. So the Adventures of Rocklander went out last week.
Yes.
The first issue. It was
the
exciting and courageous adventures of Rocklander. Chapter 1.1, which means there's going to be 12 pages in this first chapter. So 1.1, 1.2, blah, blah, blah. So this came out. The next one will be this Friday. The next one will come out. I did send it out to the Metalcloak email list with the request that if you want to get this on a regular basis, you want to get it ahead of everybody else, you should join the Adventure Rack Systems email. You can do that by going to adventureracksystems.com, click on the contact us page, and there's a big button right there that says join email list. Just click that. You can join the list real easy, and then you too can get the ongoing series of the exciting and courageous adventures of Rocklander. And we're already working on chapter 2. So we're already thinking about chapter 2 that I think might have something. Somebody joked about this, but I think it actually is going to work out. Have something to do about the hippie hot springs.
Oh yeah, cool. Yep.
So, but that'll be chapter 2. But we got 12 more weeks or 11 more weeks of this one going out, guys. So, and then go ahead.
Well, and I think it's important that our listeners understand too that, just because Matson doesn't go out and you might not see him at events and you'll see Jessy and I and stuff, this guy just doesn't stop. I mean, so in the middle of being in charge of the sales team and dealing with operation issues and actually building of parts and stuff out at Metalcloak, and he's got this live Facebook thing that he's doing, and Instagram thing in the mornings. He's created this comic book. This is all outside of all of his other stuff. Oh, by the way, he's got a family and kids, and you make me tired, dude.
I that's okay. I just totally neglect the family and kids. Yeah, it's
right.
Yeah, I guess they get nothing. None of my time. No. Yeah, we got 4 dogs too. One of our dogs, though, unfortunately, Winnie, she's not doing too well. So had to put her on heart medicine. She has like stage 4 heart, whatever it's called, or arrhythmia, whatever. So
LDS.
What is it?
LDS, little dog syndrome.
Little dog syndrome, yes. The stage, she has stage 8 little dog syndrome. But it's stage 4, so she's not doing well. But the problem is, like, she gets really excited when everybody comes home, or when I drive up, all of a sudden they're all barking at the front door. When she does that now, it like sends her into a little bit of a shock, and she like lays down and wets herself and kind of almost, you almost can't even feel her heartbeat. Like, it sends her into a little seizure. And then so you pick her up and stuff. So now she's on medicine. So as soon as I pull up, I run into the house to make sure, or give Luis a heads up, go grab Winnie, I'm almost home, just to keep her from doing that. But she can't handle it. But she's like 13, 14-year-old poodle. We've had her for 6 years. We found her, some family found her, and we got her, and she was just a mess. Poor little thing. Sweetest little dog. A lot sweeter than other dogs. The ones so apparently, I like to say this for the record. The dogs we raise, the kids we raise, are very ornery. The dog we found that was probably like 8, 9 years old when we found her,
right?
Sweet as could be. So there's a trend in the Breaky household. Like I raise tough, ornery cats, dogs, children. So maybe I shouldn't be treating the children like cats and dogs, or maybe it was the other way around. I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah. So Adventure Rack System.
You could put the kids out in the street and let them wander around for a little while, and then go find them, and maybe they sweeten up.
That maybe, or just give them to another family for a couple of years. I mean,
that'd probably go over pretty well.
Yeah, Jack, you can go live with another. Go. Jack, all Jack needs is literally, I need to take Jack and drop him in the middle of Hawaii, and just with some friends. I have friends out there that like, let Jack. He wears the flip flops, he wears the tank tops. He's got the little bleach hair coming out. He's swimming like a fish now, diving into the 5-foot point. He's like, I'm just going to send him to you guys in Hawaii. You take care of him. I'll see him in 10 years. We're good. All right.
Nice.
Facebook.
Nice.
Send Facebook. Hey, how you doing, son? Yeah. If only if it was that easy, but
right.
Yeah, we no longer live in the world of, even though they are boarding schools, we no longer live in that world of the child is born, and as soon as they can start talking and walking, they send them off to Switzerland boarding school, and then they come back when they're 15 to actually rejoin the family. Now you can be part of the family business. We just don't do that. I don't know why. That sounds like a really good plan, really. I'd probably get myself in trouble here.
Yeah.
Speaking of trouble, try not to get too political, but there's been some interesting SCOTUS decisions coming down. I like the religious liberty decision that came through. The what was his name, Kennedy, the coach who just was praying after a game, right. And it was interesting that it was the opposing team. One of the opposing teams came through that complained about it. Like, it wasn't anybody in their own school. It wasn't the students. It wasn't his own player. It wasn't even anybody in the stands in the school. No. It was an opposing team that came through and complained about it, that then caused the dominoes to fall, right? But the fact that he can do that, and that's awesome. And there's some other good ones coming around. We won't get into there's too much craziness going on right now about that.
There is, and all I'm going to say is people need to, if you don't like the way things are, you better go vote. That's all I can say.
Yeah, go vote. And that's all we did.
I can say a lot, and I'm not.
Yeah, the only option we really have at this point. So.
Yep. you vote. And the reality is that that's what this last cycle gave us, right? We voted.
Yep.
And we have some people in there that get it, but this is it. The whole point of all this, a lot of it is going back to the now you go back to your state. You can your state can determine your local. It's just all. Well, yeah, you're like a ghost when you go to the other side.
Oh yeah, I mean,
it's like
the sun is just.
It's like
kicking.
whoa. It's like, my gosh, it's just like
you look like you're on fire.
Yeah. So I promised myself I wouldn't get too political, but it's been some interesting decisions that have come through, and we're going to continue to see that, I think, for the near future. In fact, the fact that they're taking on like this case with Coach Kennedy, they actually turned it away. Like it was a couple of years ago, it came out and they said, "No, we don't listen to it," and then it went away, and then it came through again, and they petitioned again, and they went and listened to it, and now we have a solid foundation. The reality is there is no real such thing as separation of church and state. There's just that the state may not regulate the church.
Well, it comes down to individual decisions and individual choices. There's a recent bunch of posts going on about whether or not people should take their Jeeps for the recent recalls. I mean, it's so similar. It's weird that I think that it's just like our entire government. They're going to tell you what you have to do. Well, if you get a recall notice in the mail, do you have to take your Jeep in? Well, no, they recommend it. Well, there's a recall for some emissions stuff, and California is saying if you don't take your Jeep in and get it reprogrammed, or this recall, this new tune put in your computer, you won't get plates for that vehicle.
Wow.
Again, it used to not be a mandatory thing. We did things to keep them up to date, and we made changes, and I don't know. It's interesting. We're being told how and when and where to do things, and I don't think that's right. And it's land use. It's everything we know. So
right.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, is like we are continuously, and unfortunately there's many of us who say, sure, okay, I'll do that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. And it's because we come from a society where most of us have been taught how to be employees, right? And if you're taught how to be an employee, that means you're taught how to be a part of a team. You're taught, in many cases, how to listen and take orders. And the same thing's true about society, okay? Again, it's this whole idea that government, I've talked about the federal city theory, right? Like every city, there's no difference to an average person in a city between the garbage service that picks up the garbage can and the federal government telling me what to do. They don't understand. It's just, for them, it's just government. They don't separate in their mind local government between county government, between state government, between federal government. They don't see the separation that you and I might see because, well, we got educated better about it in civics class, right? Or in our high schools, we actually spend time studying civics and studying how our country was formed and why states are separated that out. They don't get that. So instead, it's just, okay, well, the federal government needs to handle this. Well, no, it's not their job. Well, what do you mean it's not their job? It's because it's not their job. Tell me what
to do. I need some guidance here. Come on, tell me what to do.
Yeah, and I'm lost. State and local, and of course, state and local go, hey, federal government, come on in here because we want money, and you got all the money, so we'll do this program, but we need you to give us $100 million, and we can do this program or whatever. You give us some money, and then we'll do it, right? But it's that constant battle between that and the guys that live in the rural or in other parts of the country. You see all this fighting now of like, well, why the hell? What do we care about the red states anyway? We don't care about the red states. All of us live in all this on the outlier states, right? We live in the blue states. We live in the cities with the most crime.
Red Jeeps and blue Jeeps.
I like it. So I have an orange Jeep. Where do I fall?
Yeah, you're somewhere in the middle.
You're on the red spectrum.
You're on the kind of the red spectrum. Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Well, doesn't that mean your yellow Jeep is more towards the blue spectrum?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. It's too bad. All right. So we're talking about all kinds of weird stuff now. All right. So you guys are heading out.
Yep.
And then, guys, just so much to do. So many things.
So much to do. So it's all the things, hopefully, we'll get a chance to show everybody a couple of new products that that Dometic that we saw actually at Overland Expo in Flagstaff.
Right.
We saw kind of a new faucet that they had come out with. Well, I happen to have one with us, so
wow,
I'm excited.
We're gonna show hopefully do some videos and stuff, and kind of take our overlanding to the next, I don't know, the next
level.
campsite.
Well, hey, if you guys go out to Pacific Northwest, again, everybody knows, I've said this a few times, I will not have the Gladiator with me, but it'll be at Pacific Northwest Overland Expo, and we will be showing our new rack system. What is our new rack system? Well, the overcab system you've already seen for the Gladiator, that connects, has a front hoop, crossbars, the trusses, and then a rear hoop. But then we designed a bed rack system made of tube that connects to that rear tube and connects to the bed. So it's a one giant system, one large connected system. You can still have the bed rack system that is there. You can still have that, but you will also have this. You also have the option of having this tube-based system, which I think looks pretty cool. And between that and some Molly panels and much of other stuff we're all putting together, it should be a cool new system. But that'll all be
it's very unique. I have not seen another system like this, and of course that's what ARS and Metalcloak are all about. Is they're going to do stuff that is very, very functional and is unique, and it's different. People that have seen the rack on my Jeep or have seen the more square-sided types of racks on the market, think about the attachment points that you can now have. If all of that is round tube, it's kind of a limitless functionality, right? You can put connectors and connections all over the place and make it and customize it to your needs. So yeah, it'll be really cool. I'm curious to get some feedback from folks that see it at PNW.
Well, definitely, and my kids have already discovered it was a great jungle gym. So they can't. I can't keep them out of the back of the truck because right now there's no tent or anything on it. And they just go spin around and around and around and around the jungle gym and jump, and then they climb on the upper platform, and then I just have to say, okay, fine.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I got health insurance. If they break an arm, it's fine.
Yep, boys, it'll happen.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
All right. Well, hey, guys, really appreciate all you guys sharing some time with us today. Again, this is Tuesday. We are recording this, and I know I'm a little out of it. I think you guys are exhausted just because you're getting ready to go. Me, I'm just exhausted because I'm exhausted. But I'll keep going because now you pumped me up, and I got to keep going. I can't quit.
Right now, there's just more, and drink some more water.
Yeah, that's what we got to be doing that throughout the show, right?
You're drinking water, and I'm drinking caffeine.
This is up here. Well, that's what I have in here. I have my my white pomegranate tea. So
I gotta share this. This is my newest. This came in my little quarterly subscription from Nomadic. So this is a cup.
The one where the pills that you just threw in your mouth and said, "Oh, let's check this out."
Right. That's what I did last week. That was fun. So this is a cup by Toadfish. It's the non-tipping can cooler. It's really interesting, and I kept thinking, why? What is the big deal? It's just like a coffee mug, or you put your can in here, and it's a big deal. If you set it down, let's see here, like that. So if you set it down, you can't tip it over. It's stuck if you really hit it.
Yeah.
Until you really get mad at it.
So if you put it down, you put your pop in it. Can't tip the can over.
You just can't bump into it.
But you can pick it straight up.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, it's crooked.
You can't knock it over, but you can pick it straight up.
Is the base kind of like a rubber suction base or what?
It's yeah. I'll probably never get this can out of it.
Yeah, you can't get the cans out of it.
Let's see. Yeah.
So how long will that rubber base last?
Guess we'll find out.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to call Toadfish. I like their
logo.
Little logo.
It's a toadfish.
Toadfish. Yeah.
The toadfish.
So that's the tip or the non-tip of the day.
That's non-tip. Oh, great. You just got me.
We need to have a show where we have a round table and we just spit out dad jokes. Have you seen that show? Where they
Yeah.
sit in front of each other and they just make up
bad. Yeah, there's ones with bad jokes. There's the two guys that sit out on a dock,
Yes.
and all they do is say puns back and forth to each other.
Yes.
Right. Or drinking there, and then there are guys that do the jokes on the big podcast. You know, they got those jokes, and yeah, some of them can be pretty bad.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of them are pretty bad actually. But yeah, unfortunately, I think I'm gonna go on a TikTok a sabbatical, like no TikTok for a month. I find it's like, I sit down and like changing channels. Then I'm addicted to TV, right? It's why I hate television, and I wish I didn't have any televisions in my house because I'm the guy who can sit there and go, you know.
I do not have TikTok on my app as an app on my phone.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to do it live here now. The one thing I do like is like I've learned a lot of news about things like, you know, and stuff from TikTok because I just not paying attention to other stuff. But I'm going to get
Jessy's on there, and it's kind of fun because I mean she'll show me funny stuff, and I'm entertained for a little bit, and then I have to get up and move around or something.
Right there, guys. You can't see it. It's gone.
Uh-oh.
It's gone. So now it's not on my phone. It's still on my iPad, but I don't hardly use my iPad. So if I want to see TikTok, I can go in there and catch up on some stuff, but it's off my phone.
It is a time sucker.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they call it TikTok, TikTok, TikTok.
Right? You just watch the clock go by. That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, my friends. Thank you so much for being part of this episode. Thank you so much for sharing some time with us today. And we hope you guys had an amazing time. And I've said in my morning little live points this week, the marching orders this week is to have fun, be ready, and get out and wheel this weekend, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping you guys are all out there doing that. Share with us what your wheeling trip is, right? And you guys have done a great job, by the way, of giving us great reviews, and we really appreciate the honest reviews and the great reviews on Apple Podcasts. And I think you guys are getting over there to Spotify to do it. I haven't checked those out yet, but subscribe to this now. Help us out. Subscribe to our YouTube channel too if you're watching this on video. Otherwise, we appreciate everything you do. So on behalf of all of us, and you know how to get a hold of us. We've said it before, Matson@Metalcloak.com, Corey at Metalcloak.com, Jessy at Metalcloak.com, ModernJeeper.com, ModernJeeperForum.com, ModernJeeperAdventure.com. And if you're one of our Tillamook guests coming out next week, hey, look forward to seeing you all out there. Otherwise, we'll see you on the trails.
Cheers.
See ya.